lease option to buy or sale, real estate property, single-family home, multifamily properties, land. How does it work? Having a problem selling or buying a home? Lease option is your answer. So how does a lease option work? Let's look at the housing problem facing these two couples, Mr. and Mrs. Jones and Mr. and Mrs. Thomas. Both have a similar problem. Mr. and Mrs. Jones own a home. Problem selling their home. Mr. and Mrs. Jones own a home. They are going through a divorce and moving out of state, but they are having problems selling their home. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas. Problem buying a home. Mr. and Mrs. Thomas desire to buy a home, but because of poor credit rating, they cannot get a mortgage loan. Fortunately for both couples, they had a friend, Jan, who was a real estate investor and knew about their problems. Jan brings the couples together in her office and shows them a film on lease option. After the film is over, Jan explained to them. So, in your situation, a lease option is where a seller, you, Mr. and Mrs. Jones, will go into a lease contract with the buyer, you, Mr. and Mrs. Thomas, for them to lease your home for 1 to 3 years. During this 1 to 3 year period, the Thomas will be responsible for paying the monthly lease payment to the Jones. The Jones will guarantee the submit monthly mortgage payment records showing the Thomas that the mortgage loan is being paid in full. Both of you will agree in advance on a price for the Thomas to purchase the home at the end of the lease. At the end of the lease, the Thomas will purchase the home at the agreed upon price. It didn't make sense to Mrs. Jones. She was still struggling with trying to understand lease options. Jan pulled out a picture of her Mercedes she just recently bought. She asked Mrs. Jones, "Didn't you and your husband buy a Mercedes on a lease option program?" Mrs. Jones replied, "Yes." Lease option of a car is the same as a lease option of a house. Lease option for a home works the same way a lease option for a car. Lease option of a home is no different than lease option of a car. We are familiar with car lease option and it doesn't frighten us. Leasing a home frightens us. Lease option of a home tends to frighten people because they think it is such a new concept. But it is not. Terms you are familiar with. Lease option of a home has been around for as long as car lease option. You are just more familiar with terms such as rent to own, rent option to purchase, or rent to buy, etc. Lease option is not just limited to single homes and car purchases. Land, condominiums, townhouses, duplex, triplex and quadruplex, mixed-use building, apartment buildings, can't qualify for a home mortgage loan. You can qualify for a home lease option program. And the nice thing about lease option of a home is that there are many people who can't qualify for a mortgage loan, but would benefit from a lease option program to make their American dream come true of owning their own home. Seller can't sell your home. Why take a chance of losing your home if you are a seller and not able to sell your home? Buyer can't qualify for a home mortgage loan. Why throw your money away if you are a buyer just because you have credit difficulties that prohibit you from getting a mortgage loan for a house? Mom Knows Best Real Estate Investment Brokerage. Let Mom Knows Best Real Estate Investment Brokerage step in and be your real estate investor friend, just like Jan was to the Jones and Thomas. After all, Mom knows best even when it is with your real estate needs. Send off for our reports. Buyer, we can get you in a home without you having to wait until you improve your credit and even before you get a mortgage loan. Send off for our reports. Seller, we can get your house under contract within 5 days. Email us at momknowsbestrealestate@gmail.com. Thank you, and we look forward to working with you to help you with your real estate needs. Interested in fix and flipping your home? Go to our menu above, Fix and Flip, and find out how we can help you. Because we care, a portion of our profits will go towards building a child abuse museum and family convention center in the United States.